welcome back. Did you guys all eat? Everybody get a chance to eat? You feel better, refreshed? Hopefully it'll cool off a little bit now that we're getting later into the day. We have now the live speakers. So for the afternoon session, these will all be live speakers who are here in person. It's kind of a different experience, right, to sit and watch for the first few hours. I guess that's kind of the world that we're in. We're so used to watching video, but we started out with video, and now we're transitioning to our live speakers. And our first live speaker of the afternoon is going to be Michael Cobb. Let me tell you a little bit about Michael. He actually had a career, very successful career in the computer industry. He left that to pursue pioneering opportunities in emerging real estate markets. We've seen a couple of ads for his company already today. In 1996, his business partner, along with him, formed a company called Exotic K International. Do I have that right, Michael? Okay. They were providing loans to North Americans purchasing properties in Belize, Honduras, and throughout the region. So Michael's going to come and he's going to talk to you about what it means to set up really a home in a different location. If you're from the U.S., how many of you in here are from the U.S.? So quite a few of you are. Okay, there you go. See, all the local people, they're still eating. They didn't come back in time. So we'll bring up Michael Cobb. Michael, come on. You guys can give him a round of applause. Come on.
Better? Oh, yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah. I guess I have to say that again for the folks back home. But, you know, it really is a pleasure to come back. You know, I used to speak before this COVID pandemic shutdown, lockdown. I would speak between 30 and 40 conferences a year. But there were only 2 or 3 where I actually attended the conference. And this was always one of them. I love this conference. This is one of my favorite. Yeah, right. Oh, Jeff just knocks it out of the park, and his whole team. And Kat, you've done a tremendous job keeping this train on the track. And I know the track's been moving on you too. So, right? Yeah. But you know, that's what we are. We're people who adjust and adapt to the world as it is. And that's powerful, right? That's powerful to be people who can adapt to a scenario and a change that's profoundly, and I would say bad, right? It's gone from bad to worse this year. But Ben said this early on today at the beginning. He said, when you close your fist, you squeeze stuff out. You know what? And I think we've all kind of been already outside the hand. You know, we've understood what's going on. But now as this fist gets squeezed and the lockdown gets tighter, more and more people are becoming aware of the fist, of the control, of the lockdown. This is powerful. This is a transformative moment in our society. And we are the leaders in that. We are the leaders in that. We're the thought leaders. We're the action leaders. We're the people who come to a conference like this, and then we go home, right? And we talk to our friends and our neighbors, and most of them look at us like we got 4 heads, right? Yeah, right? And that's all right. But at least we're saying it. We're getting the word out. We're talking about this a little bit. But it can be disheartening. But it can be discouraging. I think that's one of the reasons why I love this conference. I think from the people I've talked to over the years, right, why people love to come to this conference, because this conference is a true community of people who love each other, care about each other, and respect each other. I don't have to worry if I say something at this event that people are going to think I'm a weirdo. Right? It's okay. We might not agree on stuff, but we can at least agree to disagree and have a nice conversation. But nobody thinks we're strange in this community. 24 years ago, I started a little company to provide mortgages to people who wanted to buy properties overseas. And that company ultimately evolved into a development company. And we build resort communities today in Belize, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. I was just up outside Puerto Vallarta last week with Jeff and a couple guys. We were scouting for properties. We will be doing a project here in Mexico, more than likely, that will be, again, a community, a place where we can come and be welcome, who we are, as we are, and live amongst friends and really form the bonds that are so important for a true high quality of life. That's powerfully important, and that's what our organization does, principally. That's the main mission of our organization. But today, I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit of an adjunct, an offshoot to who we are as a company. Back in 1999, I went to Panama with 5 other guys, and we planted 100 acres of teak as an investment for ourselves. We said, you know what, we're going to plant some teak trees, and in 25 years, we're going to cut them down, we're going to make a lot of money, then we're going to plant them again, and our kids, 25 years later, are going to make a lot of money. That was the idea. Well, about 8 years ago, Panama came along with this idea, hey, if you invest $10,000 or more, we'll give you a residency in Panama. Right? It's pretty simple, $10,000 plus some legal fees, and you can get this. And it changed how we thought about things, because what happened strikingly was so many people came out of the woodwork saying, you mean I can have a second residency in Panama? I don't have to live there, I don't have to move there, and it only costs, it's about $20,000 when you throw in the legal fees and stuff. But at the end of the day, for $20,000, you can have a residency outside your home country. You know what? Breathe free. Breathe free. The second residency is a plan B. It allows me, I have a second residency. I lived outside the United States in Nicaragua for 14 years. I raised a couple daughters down there. It was great. I carry with me a second residency in Nicaragua. I'm in the process of obtaining a third residency in Panama. Why? Because I like to be prepared. I like to be prepared. I like to know that, yeah, if things really hit the fan, I've got a place to go. See, one of the fallacies, I saw some hands go up. We had some more people. U.S. and Canadians in here, please, real quick. Just U.S. and Canadians. Right. I think many of us live under this fallacy that we can, if shit hits the fan, I'm just going to get an airplane and I'm going to leave. Yep. We're lucky as U.S. and Canadian citizens. We can travel to hundreds of countries around the world visa-free. We can walk in, the immigration officer goes, boom, welcome to Jamaica, welcome to Aruba, welcome to Mexico, welcome to wherever, right? And off you go. But what happens 30 days later, 60 days later, when that tourist visa that they stamp in your passport expires? What are you going to do? You're either going to go home, back to the States or Canada, or you're going to remain in that country as an illegal alien. I don't know. I don't really want to be an illegal alien. Right now, it's not so bad. Everyone's like, no big deal. Just, they'll stamp your passport, or you can do a border run. Yeah, you can. That's all unofficial. That's an unofficial way to be in a country. But can you imagine what will happen very, very shortly when this fist keeps closing and more people? Our community, by the way, is growing leaps and bounds. Growing leaps and bounds. I think 3 or 4 years, or 4 years ago when I came here, there were 400 people at this conference. Last year, there were 2,000 people at this conference. Just our community is growing incredibly. And as that fist closes, and more people realize that they're really getting choked, right? They're getting choked, right? They're going to say, you know what? I went out. I went out. Well, let's look at what happens. And I think we'd all agree we're headed for a train wreck, right? We're headed for a train wreck. Whether it's a train wreck of debt, really caused by the Federal Reserve, right? The Federal Reserve just printing money like drunken sailors. And I love this, it's the U.S. economy. Hurry, put some more money in. That'll get this train back on track, right? Somebody just told me today that the new stimulus package is $1.6 trillion, right? Unbelievable. But this one I think is far more important, and this is the one that probably resonates the most with us. It resonates the most with me, right? It's this train wreck of freedom. It's a train wreck of freedom. And what's that mean? Well, come on, guys, dragging a guy. There's a plane that got turned around. Joe and Rachel from my team were on the plane from Houston that got turned around because a guy was vaping and wouldn't put on his mask, right? Civil asset forfeiture, you guys have heard of that, right? Where they actually arrest your stuff, right? Your stuff is guilty until proven innocent, right? Check this out. If you don't know what civil asset forfeiture is, check it out, right? And can anyone tell the difference between travel, school, and prison these days? Right? This is nutso, right? So, when there's a train wreck coming, we have 3 choices. All right? We can enjoy the ride. We're smarter than that, I hope, right? And we can catch the last train out. All right? But unless you're that guy. So here's my little fun exercise. Oh, by the way, I'm holding this T-shirt. Please, we're right over here, kind of that direction. If you'd like to come pick up a T-shirt, it says, guess where I found my freedom, right? We'd love to give you one of these, and it's at Anarchapulco. So please, come by and pick up one of these T-shirts. But right now, I'd like to have everyone stand up, please. Just real quick, how many people in here are 50% sure that we're headed for a train wreck? Stay standing. 50% sure, stay standing. 60%, stay standing. 80%, if you're 80% sure we're headed for a train wreck, stay standing. 90%. Okay, so we got a few folks at that. The rest of you are 90% sure we're headed for a train wreck. All right, here's the $64,000 question. Everybody with a residency outside their home country remains standing. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. You all are prepared. You're not. You're not this guy. But the rest of you could be. You really could be that guy. What's a better plan? Act now. Take action. Do something. Right? You're here. You're here. You've got the resources. Tons of people in this community. There are people sitting here today who have second residencies outside the United States. Some of them are still standing. And if you feel free to talk with some of your neighbors and friends around here and your community members, please do. Tell them why you did it. Right? I think we get why you did it. Tell them how it worked. Our team is here to help you do that. If you choose to decide to get a second residency outside your home country, we can help you do it. It's just smart. It's just being prepared so that you're not that last guy. Obviously, everybody talks about Bitcoin. For about a half a Bitcoin right now, you can have a second residency outside your home country. Half a Bitcoin. So if you invested in Bitcoin when it was, last year, $6,000, $8,000, and now it's $50,000, you know what? Take half one of your Bitcoins, throw it on the table, and protect the most important asset you have, yourself. Right? Asset protection, sometimes mislabeled. People think asset protection, I'm going to protect my stuff. I'm going to put my things in a trust. I'm going to take care of my stocks and bonds. I'm going to take my crypto, I'm going to put it on a little cold wallet, and I'm going to bury it in my backyard. Whatever you do with it, right? It's stuff. That's all stuff. What about the most important asset we have? Us. How do we protect us? How do we ensure? This is what I'm really talking about here, right? How do we ensure our liberty, our freedom, but our liberty? When they come to lock you up, when they come to drag you off the bus because you're not wearing your mask, right? And want to throw you in jail and take away your liberty, right? How do you protect that? You do it by having another place to go that you can call home, that you can stay for the rest of your life for as long as you want. This is being prepared, right? It's the freedom to choose the kinds of foods, medicines, right? We're talking about real freedom. Many countries, I lived in Nicaragua. Nicaragua is one of the freest countries, I would say, in the world right now. One of the freest countries in the world. When the COVID thing started, you know what they said to their people? Hey, there's this thing called COVID, maybe, whatever. That's what they said. There's a thing called COVID, and if you want to shut down your business, shut down your business. If you're a restaurant and you want to move your tables wider, move your tables wider. If you don't want to do any of that, you want to stay open, keep everything the way it was, do that. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. What a free country. What a great way to view, right, this idea of being adults and treating people like adults. That's what it is still like that. Yeah, it's a great question. Is it still like that? Yes, it is. And and then things like stem cell therapies and alternative treatments that we would call alternative in the States that really aren't alternative, right? But they get labeled or mislabeled that way, right? So here's this opportunity to enjoy freedom outside our home countries. So this is powerful, real freedom, true freedom. I want to talk about two ways that you can get this second residency outside your home country simply, easily, very affordably. One of them is through this Teak. Now, the Teak is a great program because you actually make an investment in a product that's a commodity. Teak has been farmed commercially for about 300 years, starting by the British in India and Burma, right, in that part of the world, Southeast Asia, right? It's got a 300-year track record as a commodity of worth, right? It's being harvested far faster than it's being replanted. There's global demand. So you come to a country like Panama, for example, and our plantation, the original one I started, and the ones that we've since started to supply to demand. I don't know where Rachel is, I could ask her. But anyway, I think in the last 24 months, in the last 2 years, we've helped over 300 people obtain a second residency outside the United States or Canada, right? This thing is on fire because people want it. So the plantations, it's a great place to grow teak. Basically, you get your teak. Today, the teak, we have two plants. Baby teak, which is just planted, or what we call teenage teak, which is 14-year-old teak. Here's some of the 14-year-old teak. $17,000 plus about $5,000 for your legal fees, $22,000. $22,000, you get 15-year-old Teak, you get your primary person, and if you want to add family members, wife, spouse, kids, $1,900 a piece. So for a family of four, you're about $26,000, $27,000 to have residency for you, your spouse, and a couple kids. This is powerful, good stuff. This is real freedom. The nice thing about Panama, and I'll be very transparent, Jeff's not a big fan of Panama right now. Panama went the exact opposite of Nicaragua. They went into full lockdown. Yeah, full lockdown. It's kind of bad shit, right? But the thing I like about Panama is that it's actually the easiest second residency to keep. See, many of us have jobs in the United States or Canada. We're working, we're doing stuff. We can't go live somewhere for 60 days out of the year. I mean, maybe we can. Now this whole digital nomad concept has really come out so that we have been given the permission, right, by the employers to go do this, right? But at the end of the day, that's really what it took. It took this big sea change where the employers were willing to let employees go overseas and work, and we as employees, if we have a W-2 kind of job, right, we weren't afraid to ask if we could work from home. Well, now, if you're allowed to work from home and your boss and your company says, okay, this works for us, home can be anywhere, right? Home can be right here in Mexico, right now, right? It doesn't matter where home is, right? But if you're kind of stuck where you are, you're in a position, you're in a role that requires you to be physically present. The thing about Panama's residency is you only have to visit 1 day every 6 years, 1 day every 6 years to maintain it. It is the easiest residency to maintain by far in the world today. And it's permanent. It's permanent. It never expires. You get it once, you have it forever. You now, in your back pocket, have the perfect insurance against the choking that's coming, right? Get on a plane, go to Panama, stay there the rest of your life if that's what you choose to do. And until you need that or want to use it, you only have to go 1 day every 6 years. So easy to maintain, so easy to get. Nicaragua is actually my favorite country. I lived here for 14 years. I love the country, so free. The program's a little bit more to get in. It's about $33,000, right? Same principle, $33,000, you buy 1 acre of teak. So you actually get 4 times as much teak. So you get an acre of teak and the legal fees, and you get a residency in Nicaragua. A lot of folks, again, we've had about 400 folks, just under 400 folks in the last 2 years get second residencies either in Panama or Nicaragua. And it's phenomenal. People love it. If you want more information, please send us an email, freedom@ecidevelopment.com. We have this ultimate guide to second residencies and citizenships is actually going to come talk about tiny homes overseas. This is something that's pretty exciting. And again, we were up in Puerto Vallarta area of Mexico this last week with Jeff, looking for property to do a tiny home community in Mexico. It'll be the first one we do here. Again, a neat opportunity. But today we have properties in Panama, Nicaragua, and Belize, tiny homes, and she'll be talking about that on Thursday. Again, 2 options, $22,000, $33,000. We do accept Bitcoin, crypto, so if you'd like to take care of your residency that way, we can certainly help you. And this is it, freedom@ecidevelopment.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to chat with you while you all are here. So I think that's it. I don't know if I have time for questions. I do? Yeah? Okay, I had a question earlier. Thank you. Yes?
What about, do you have it, right now you only have the project in Mexico that you're planning?
Yeah.
Do you have any more in Mexico?
The question is right now we only have a project in Mexico that we're planning. That is correct. We're in the process of identifying a property that we could build a community here in Mexico on. But I think by June of this year, we will have made that decision on the property. We saw a couple that were spectacular properties that would be great communities for tiny homes and other. We're actually going to overlay a permaculture agro element to it. So for folks who are really looking for that sustainability element that's so important, a guy named Chris is here with us, and Chris is in that space in the States and brings an expertise to help us be able to deliver this sustainable agricultural element to a tiny home community. And so, but let me set the expectations. By the way, even if we identify this property by June, it'll be the fall or early next year before we own it. Things just take time. So just set the expectation. Probably about this time next year, you guys might start to hear about real specific products that could be available in that community. And then to actually own it and get your keys would be another year. So we're really talking about 2 years before you could actually move in, so to speak, 2 to 2.5 years. But we always like to set those expectations realistically for folks. So Mexico, 2 to 2.5 years for that. Great question. Yes, ma'am.
What's the expected rate of return on the Teak, and can you sell it?
Yeah, what's the expected rate of return on the Teak, and can you sell it? Yeah, the Teak is really a neat product. Obviously, nobody knows the future, right? So it's a guess. Historically, the rate of return on Teak has been about 9 to 11% IRR in constant dollars over a 25-year period. The answer to your question is, can you sell it? Absolutely. You own the land. You have title to the land. It's your land, your trees. You can sell it to anyone you want at any time you want. So that is correct. Yes, sir.
If I understood correctly, you are speaking of the residency,
Yes, residency.
citizenship.
That is correct.
Does that mean that you believe, for example, in my case, I have the Mexican permanent residency,
Yeah.
but if you're within the bounds of the country of which you're a citizen, and some shit hits the fan, world gets closed, is another residency without being another citizenship enough to step across the border?
Phenomenal question. I'm going to summarize it. If you're a citizen of, say, the United States, I don't know, but the United States, and you have a residency in Mexico, shit hits the fan, is that enough to get you to Mexico? And that's a tough question. I don't know if it is or not. But here's what I'm guessing, because you know what? We're paying attention. We're actually awake, right? And if we see a train coming down the tracks at us, you know what? I'm not waiting until it's right here to get off, right? I'm getting off that tracks long before that train gets to me. Could it be an overnight, boom, this is new? Yeah, it could be, right? But a lot of times, there are plenty of hints. There's plenty of evidence of stuff coming down the pike, right, or coming down the tracks at us. And so as that train comes around the bend, it's getting a little closer, you know what? I'm not going to wait and just play chicken with the train. You know, I'm going to get off. You know what? And if the train ends up not coming, okay, well, go back, right? It doesn't matter, right? But I'm a big fan of like just being prepared and staying ahead. But we're awake. We're conscious. We will see that train long before anyone else does. So I don't know the answer to your question. Would a Mexican residency be able to get you out or not? I don't know. But I personally would never wait that long unless it was a surprise move, which could be the case too, right? You just don't know. Yes, sir.
Can a teak farm support other crops interspersed with the teak, or is it pretty much dedicated to
Yeah, a good question. So the question was, can a teak plantation support other intercropping in the land in and around the teak trees? The answer is yes, it can. Typically, we don't, because then it adds a competitive measure to the teak. So what we've done is we've just said, look, we're going to do the teak because it's a single thing. We can comfortably manage that. We actually don't manage it. We hire a forestry company in both Nicaragua and Panama that are professional foresters to do that on our behalf, on your behalf, if you know it becomes your teak. So right on your behalf. But yes, it can be done. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah, what's the management fee? So basically, how we work is we work really like a hedge fund in the United States. What we do is we say, you know what? We're going to take 20% of what you make. So at the harvest, our company gets 20% of the return that's given to the folks who own the teak. It's all in the business plan. It's all in the documentation, very clearly spelled out. Again, we've been around for 24 years. Our company has been in business for 24 years. This is our 25th year of business. We are very transparent, and we're happy to tell you that, yep, you know what? If you make $100, we get 20 of it. But it puts us on the same side of the, in the boat. We're all rowing the same direction. We want to get as much money for you as possible because we'll make more if we do. So that's our goal, to make you more so we make more as well. But great question, yeah. All right, folks, thank you. We're here. We'd love to chat with you one-on-one. Come see us, all right? Thank you.